So, yeah, that just happened. Hey, have you ever had your favorite team go to like a super nail biter in double overtime? Because I just did. And my heart was going a few times there. Listen, man, I said in the beginning, I'm very scared of the Raptors, or I'm scared of the Raptors, and then I am now more scared of the Raptors, and now I haven't decided on the title of this, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to put all caps. I am very, very scared of the Raptors. I mean, do you want actual basketball takes, or you just want to see me kind of freak out about that game? Because sometimes you just got to let the basketball takes aside. We'll get to the X's and O's stuff eventually, of which if I manage to think of any, after my brain has been turned to mush by that one. You know, the whole cliche of the heart of a champion thing? Well, you saw it tonight. Kyle Lowry with, the big strip on Jalen when Jalen posted him up, which right then and there, you don't post up Kyle Lowry. I don't care if you got a size mismatch on him. He's like the best post defender in the NBA. The turnaround on Kemba, the 4 threes, and like all of them were contested. That dude's a Hall of Famer, man. There's no question about it. I remember before the playoffs, I did a whole thing about, I did a players I don't trust, and I feel like I've gotten almost all those wrong. But I also, ranking players before the playoffs, and I was very nice to Kyle Lowry. It was very nice, and he repays me like this. But, he's also proven me kind of right on that one as well. I mean, not even just the shots. I mean, going off the dribble, beating guys, going at Kemba sometimes. Kudos to Kemba. He's playing some solid defense, as good as he can, but unreal. Other things to make note of, yeah. We got a Game 7 between these two teams, and chances are it's not going to top this game. But, from an intensity standpoint, it will, because the feeling that I had throughout the fourth quarter on in this game, that's going to be from the first second of the first quarter. Apologies if this is a little scatterbrained compared to how the commentaries usually are, but I think there's some value in just the genuine reaction of like, what the hell did I just witness? I mean, Jaylen Brown, really gutsy game from Jaylen. I mean, if it wasn't for his 21 points in the first half and making some contested shots and just taking it himself off the dribble sometimes, on top of just some threes that were made for him, then that probably doesn't end up as close as it did. That's probably more of a blowout. As far as what happened to Kemba, I don't know, man. I mean, the Raptors, at some point in this game, they went small around the fourth quarter or whatever, and they were switching a little bit more, trapping a little bit more. It did lead to some Tice opportunities around the rim, but I think Kemba, the size difference is real. Kemba's very talented, but he's also like 5'11" or whatever he is. I mean, there was that part where they were in the huddle, and he was shorter than Marcus Smart by a considerable amount. And it's tough. It's tough to get separation when you got OG Anunoby, who's, huge. And, the Raptors have a whole bunch of those guys, which we knew coming into this. We knew that the Raptors could just have a lot of versatile, good defenders. And when they went to that 5-out, was it 5-out? I don't know. The Siakam at center, you know what I'm talking about. It did kind of unlock this extra layer of Toronto that I feel like we have been waiting a little bit for, because I remember when I was predicting the series and I predicted Toronto to win, a lot of it was because of their scrambling on defense and able to like get to a guy who's driving and then get out to the shooters, and we saw that a lot in the tail end of this game. And I think a lot of it is because they went to Siakam at center. It's just, that's the fastest lineup they can make, And the Celtics were really having a tough time getting shots off. Besides one Jalen, there was one Jalen layup that was pretty easy. And then Tice had a couple alley-oops that were easy enough, I guess. But, Tatum, they certainly did a job on Tatum in the last whatever. And I guess this is one of those games where you just find out who's kind of got it and who doesn't, you know what I mean? And sometimes, in these playoff games where the stakes are this high, and sometimes you just have to go to an ISO. You know what I mean? And we saw with Lowry on that one possession on Kemba and whatever the hell else. Marcus Smart's three-point shooting remains the craziest thing of all time. It's like he's either the worst shooter in the NBA or he's the best shooter in the NBA. That last three-pointer that he hit was insane. He was like falling down or whatever. To talk about the very, very last play, what was up with Tatum inbounding the ball? I mean, is he the best passer on the team? Kind of is. Kind of happened overnight, but he's kind of become the best passer on the team. But wouldn't you want him out there on the floor so you have another guy? Plus, it's Tatum, like, I don't know. Maybe the initial play was, because, it's Brad Stevens, so it's probably something weird. Like maybe Tatum was supposed to pass to somebody, and then Tatum gets into a sprint, and that guy hands it off to Tatum, maybe. But then, they had no timeout, so he just had to improvise and just chuck it to Marcus Smart down court. I think Marcus Smart had a foot on the line, so even if that would have gone in, I don't know if it would have counted, but that's all I could think of. I mean, to think about Stevens and Nurse and the back and forth they got going on right now, I mean, the weird thing was the Powell ISO at the end of, was it regulation? Was it the first overtime? I have no idea. My brain is a blur after what I have just witnessed. But I think for the most part, the Nurse-Stevens thing, it's lived up to it, man. I mean, these two teams, there's not a whole lot of mistakes going on. I mean, there is some ball handlers who are looking overwhelmed by good defensive players, but it's not the sense of, like, ugly basketball. I mean, the one time was when Tatum thought Nick Nurse was his teammate. I guess that was probably the one time. Besides that, it's just like good defender versus good offensive player, good offensive set. Something has to happen, and the defense has been winning more times than not, at least in the tail end of that game. But geez, man, do I have anything else, or have I exhausted all of my takes on this game? Usually these are a little longer, but excuse me, because I don't know what the hell I just witnessed. Game 7's on Friday. Good Lord. Can I talk about Game 7? I guess so. I mean, it's a Game 7. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Daniel Tyson might make 4 threes. Pascal Siakam might foul out in 22 minutes. Kyle Lowry could make more contested threes. Tatum could make 4 sidestep threes. Someone could miss like 9 free throws. Like, it's anything. It's a Game 7. It's one game, and we all know the whole cliche. Anything can happen. Well, it's true. I'll tell you one thing that will happen is I am not going to have an easy couple days here. I mean, in the grand scheme, it's just basketball. I'm just watching basketball. There's people who have way tougher situations going on than I do, so I don't want to get too dramatic, but that was intense. That was an intense game of two teams, and, it's just one of those things where, like, somebody's got to lose the game. Was there some glaring mistake the Celtics made to deserve to lose? I mean, potentially, if you dive in to play-by-play, possession-by-possession. I'm sure there's something there, but, it's like Kyle Lowry made a couple big shots. Celtics made, like, one less one, pretty much. I mean, hell, Tatum had a huge 3 that made it, a 2-point game, whatever it was. 1-point game, and then Powell made the 2 free throws, and then we got that inbound with 5 seconds left, so... Yeah, man, then there was some bickering at the end of the game, so of course that's going to go into the Game 7 a little bit. I don't know, man. If you're asking for a Game 7 prediction, I got nothing. I mean, yeah, my pre-series prediction was the Raptors, but I don't know. I feel like, basically everything before this moment, like, kind of doesn't matter, It's, this one game is just its own isolated incident, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I guess to talk about other random basketball things. Did the Celtics do a better job of containing Ibaka? He had a moment there. Eventually Nick Nurse just went with Siakam, so I guess for what that's worth. But, Ibaka, because of his three-point shooting, that's going to be a factor in Game 7, certainly. Do you just go with Marcus Smart on Lowry the entire time? Maybe. I don't know. I think Kemba did an okay enough job on Lowry. Sometimes he's going to make some shots, pretty much. So, yeah, I guess the one other thing I would say is just more off-ball stuff to get Tatum going a little bit. That's all. Tatum's passing was really, really good tonight. I do think eventually the Raptors' defense did overwhelm Tatum. But he made some plays. There were some really, really good passes there to Tice. There was a couple cross-court passes, like half-court, like, Tatum's on the elbow, other guys in the corner or opposite elbow. Or there was one time when Tice was he was like in front of the basket, and Tatum had to throw like a bullet right to him, and it was a really good pass. And I got nothing else, man. It's going to be a Game 7. It's going to be nuts. I'm hopefully going to be able to survive that Game 7. And you know what? We'll all probably learn something in the end. I don't know what that thing will be.